Hello crafty friends, this is Julia from Just One More Card, and today I want to show you how you can make your Copic marker stand out on Kraft cardstock. I have recently rediscovered this technique and I was just delighted to see how well I could color on Kraft cardstock. I have shared a photo on Instagram where I showed that I actually made some swatches of there they are, some swatches of color on Kraft cardstock, just because you need to let the Copic ink dry first. Once you let it dry, it will look completely different than when you put it on when it's wet. I'd completely forgotten about that, and I discovered this by complete accident. I don't even remember how I discovered it. I think it was during the 30-day coloring challenge in February by Kathy Rakusin. And once I discovered that, I just had to give this a try. Now, every Kraft cardstock is different, just as white papers are different. So you will have to test your own Kraft cardstock to see if it lets you blend, how your colors will look like on it, if it bleeds or something. And then once you have found a favorite Kraft cardstock, create your own ink swatches so you will know how the color, or not ink swatches, but color swatches, so you will know how the Copic markers will look like. And I encourage you to keep an eye on the pieces that I color throughout the process, because I think you will see over time, for example now with the mouse and her head, how the color changes once it dries. It's amazing. It's kind of magical. It's almost as magical as heating embossing powder. So I'm using my standard coloring process, which is basically putting down dark and then going towards the lighter. I'm experimenting here a bit with putting down the lightest color first to see if it helps if I wet the paper, but I didn't really find a lot of difference, and I found that my Kraft paper bleeds a little bit or feathers a little bit if it's too wet. So you'll have to test if that works for you, or if you should only put on one layer of color. It's all a bit experimental and it's exciting, you know. It's I don't know, I really liked trying this out and to see how far I could take it. The image that I'm using today, by the way, is from Purple Onion Designs, and of course all the supplies I'm using are listed in the video description below. Now for the rest of the Copic coloring, before we get into the details, I will play some music for you and I will catch you again on the flip side. Alright, now that the Copic coloring is done, I want to emphasize the highlights, and I'm grabbing my white Polychromos pencil. If you have a Prismacolor pencil, a white one, that will work just as well. And I'm putting down some of the white color into the highlight areas, and then I'm just using a dry paper stamp to gently blend it out. I don't want I don't know, like I don't want streaks or anything, so I'm being very, very careful, and I just want to emphasize the parts of the image that I think should be the highlights. And you can see that just it's very subtle, but in the end it really makes a whole lot of difference, especially on the leaves, and I will show you that in the close-ups. So here's the little mouse, and you can see just how nicely the Copic colors blended on her head and her face, and I emphasize the eyes a bit with a black glaze pen. Here is the dress that I enhanced a bit by adding a few white dots, and you can see that there's that it really makes a lot of difference to add the white pencil into the highlight areas because it really brightens them up. And here you have the leaves, where I also added the white pencil into the highlight areas. I pressed down a little bit too hard, which made it difficult to blend out, but that is just something that you'll have to learn by experimenting. And I really encourage you to do that. So here's the final card, which I die cut the piece, mounted it on the card base, and added a few sequins by Pretty Pink Posh in matching colors. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you got inspired to try your Copics on Kraft cardstock, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye bye.